The Lagos rain pounded mercilessly against the windows of Thabo Chijioke's penthouse office as he stared out at the city below. At 32, he commanded an empire worth billions, yet felt as empty as the crystal whiskey glass in his hand. His chocolate skin reflected in the window showed a man who had everything money could buy, but nothing his heart truly desired. Another boring board meeting, another meaningless acquisition, he muttered, loosening his Italian silk tie. The loneliness ate at him like acid. Across the bustling streets of Victoria Island, Rose Adebayo hummed softly as she arranged fresh flowers at her small roadside stand. Her dark skin glowed with an inner radiance that no amount of wealth could purchase. Despite having barely enough naira to pay rent for her tiny apartment in Surulere, her smile could light up the darkest Lagos night. She wore a simple yellow dress that complemented her natural beauty, her hair braided in elegant cornrows adorned with small beads that caught the afternoon sun. Fate struck like lightning when Thabo's driver took a wrong turn, desperately seeking shelter from the sudden downpour. The Bentley pulled up beside Rose's flower stand just as she was gathering her precious blooms to protect them from the rain. "Please, let me help," Thabo called out, stepping from his car without hesitation. His expensive shoes splashed through puddles as he rushed to save her flowers, not caring about his custom-made suit getting soaked. Rose looked up, startled by this well-dressed stranger who cared more about her flowers than his obvious wealth. Their eyes met, and something electric passed between them, a connection that transcended social boundaries. "You'll ruin your beautiful clothes," she protested, her voice melodious with a gentle Yoruba accent. "Beautiful clothes can be replaced," Thabo replied, his deep voice sending shivers through her. "But these flowers, they're your livelihood, aren't they?" As they worked together, salvaging her colorful display, Rose felt her heart flutter. This mysterious man with kind eyes and gentle hands seemed to see her, truly see her, in a way no one ever had. "I'm Thabo," he said softly, water dripping from his perfectly sculpted face. "Rose," she whispered back, feeling as if the rain had washed away the barriers between their worlds. Neither knew that this moment would change everything forever. 3 weeks had passed since that rainy encounter, and Thabo found himself returning to Rose's flower stand every day, like a moth drawn to her radiant flame. He would buy dozens of flowers he didn't need, just to hear her melodious laugh and see her eyes sparkle with joy. "You know," Rose teased one evening as she prepared to close her stand, "I'm starting to think you have an unhealthy obsession with flowers, Mr. Mysterious." Thabo's heart raced as he stepped closer, the scent of jasmine and roses mixing with her natural sweetness. "Maybe I do," he whispered, his voice husky with emotion. "Or maybe I'm obsessed with the most beautiful flower of all." Rose's breath caught as his strong hands gently cupped her face. The bustling Lagos street seemed to fade away as he leaned down, their lips meeting in a kiss that tasted of hope and forbidden desire. Her hands clutched his shirt as if he might disappear, their hearts beating in perfect synchronization. Their secret romance blossomed like her flowers, passionate, intense, and dangerously beautiful. Thabo would sneak away from his corporate empire to walk with Rose through the vibrant markets of Lagos, her hand small and warm in his. He loved watching her bargain with vendors in rapid Yoruba, her animated gestures making him fall deeper in love. "Tell me about your dreams," he whispered one night as they sat by Lagos Lagoon, the city lights reflecting in the water like scattered diamonds. Rose's eyes grew distant. "I dream of opening a real flower shop, with beautiful arrangements that make people smile on their worst days." "What about you, Thabo? What does a man who seems to have everything dream about?" He pulled her closer, breathing in her intoxicating scent. "I dream of waking up next to you every morning, of building something real with someone who loves me for who I am, not what I have. But paradise has its serpents." From the shadows, Kemi Okafor watched their tender moments with venomous jealousy. As Thabo's former lover and business partner, she had never accepted his rejection. Her flawless dark skin and designer everything had always attracted him before, but now this simple flower girl had stolen his heart. "We'll see about that," Kemi hissed into her phone, her manicured nails digging into her palm. Nobody takes what's mine. Unknown to the lovers, storm clouds were gathering, threatening to destroy their fragile happiness. The first crack in their paradise came on a humid Lagos morning when Rose arrived at her flower stand to find it destroyed, petals scattered like broken dreams, her life's work trampled under cruel feet. Tears streamed down her beautiful face as she knelt among the ruins. Who would do this? She sobbed into Thabo's chest when he found her there, his heart breaking at her pain. But Kemi was just getting started. Using her connections and resources, she launched a campaign of systematic destruction. Rose's landlord suddenly demanded triple rent, suppliers refused to sell to her, and whispers followed her through the markets like poison. "Maybe we should stop seeing each other," Rose whispered one night, her voice barely audible over the sound of Lagos traffic. They sat in his car, hidden in the shadows, afraid to be seen together. "I'm bringing trouble to your life." "Never," Thabo said fiercely, pulling her into his arms. "You're the only real thing in my world, Rose. I'd rather lose everything than lose you." Their passion burned even brighter under pressure. In the privacy of a small hotel room overlooking the lagoon, they made love with desperate intensity, their bodies speaking what words couldn't express. Rose traced the strong lines of Thabo's chest as he whispered promises in her ear, his hands worshipping every curve of her silky skin. But secrets have a way of demanding to be told. The evening Thabo finally decided to reveal his true identity, disaster struck first. Rose was rushing to meet him when she overheard two women gossiping at the bus stop. "That poor girl doesn't know she's been playing with Thabo Chijioke, the billionaire. Kemi Okafor is spreading it all over social media. The flower girl thinks she caught a big fish, but she's just his entertainment." Rose's world shattered. The man she'd given her heart to had been lying to her all along. When Thabo arrived at their meeting spot with a bouquet of her favorite roses and a confession on his lips, he found only a note. "Some lies are too big to survive. Don't look for me. Rose." Kemi emerged from the shadows, her smile triumphant. "Did you really think a street flower seller could handle your world, Thabo? She's probably already planning how to spend your money." "You don't know her," Thabo growled, his hands clenching into fists. "Rose isn't like that." "Isn't she?" Kemi laughed coldly. "Then why did she run the moment she learned who you really are?" For the first time in his life, Thabo Chijioke felt truly powerless. 6 months of hell followed. Thabo threw himself into work with manic intensity, but every board meeting, every deal, every success felt hollow without Rose's smile to come home to. He hired the best private investigators in Lagos, but Rose had vanished like morning mist, leaving no trace behind. Unknown to him, Rose had fled to her grandmother's village in Osun State, her heart shattered but her love for Thabo burning as strong as ever. She spent her days helping in her grandmother's garden, trying to heal from the betrayal, even as she carried his child, a secret she discovered too late to share. "Child, running away never solved anything," her wise grandmother, Mama Folake, said one evening as they sat under the baobab tree. "If you love him, and he loves you, why are you both suffering?" "Because he lied to me, Mama. How can I trust someone who couldn't tell me the truth?" The old woman's knowing eyes sparkled. "And did you tell him you loved him before you knew he was rich? Did you tell him about your fears, your dreams of a flower shop?" Love is built on trust, yes, but also on forgiveness. Meanwhile, Kemi's victory turned bitter when she realized Thabo would never love her, no matter who she destroyed. In a moment of unexpected conscience, she confessed her sabotage to Thabo, hoping to win his gratitude. Instead, she faced his fury. "You destroyed an innocent woman's life because of your jealousy," he said, his voice deadly quiet. "Get out of my sight. Forever." With Kemi's confession, Thabo finally found Rose's trail. The confrontation came during the annual Osun festival, as Rose sold flower crowns to celebrating families. She looked up to see the man who still owned her heart standing before her, thinner and more desperate than she'd ever seen him. "Rose," he breathed, falling to his knees before her, not caring who watched. "I've searched for you everywhere. Please, let me explain." "Explain what, Thabo?" "How you lied to me every day. How you let me fall in love with someone who didn't exist." Tears streamed down his face. "I lied about my money, yes. But everything else, every laugh, every kiss, every whispered promise, that was real. I was afraid you'd only see my wealth, not me." Rose's hand instinctively moved to her still flat belly, protecting their secret. "And what about now? What happens when your rich friends learn about the flower girl who trapped you?" "Then they'll learn," Thabo said fiercely, taking her hands, "that I'm marrying the strongest, most beautiful woman in Nigeria." "Rose, you're carrying my child, aren't you?" Her gasp told him everything. "How did you?" "Because I know you. Because I love every part of you." He stood, pulling her into his arms as the festival crowd gathered around them. "Marry me, Rose. Let me spend my life proving that our love is worth more than all the riches in the world." As fireworks exploded over the Osun River, Rose finally whispered the word that had been trapped in her heart for months. "Yes." Their wedding 3 months later was the talk of Lagos, a billionaire and his flower girl bride, their love story proving that the richest treasure of all is a heart freely given. And as they danced under the stars, their newborn daughter sleeping peacefully nearby, they knew their love had indeed conquered all.